This is the newsroom for Tuesday, January 2nd, 2021. We're broadcasting to you on E1, Scar TV, NTN, and Tarzi TV in Bartica. In the headlines, almost 2 weeks of being illegally detained by the Venezuelan armed forces, the 12-member Guyanese fishing crew is running low on food supplies, and there is no update as to when they will be released.
Yeah, all right, and so nobody molest them and, entreat them also.
Colwyn R. Harding, who had accused the police constable of raping him with a baton in 2013, had his case dismissed for want of prosecution. Traffic accidents for the year so far has already gone above the figures for last year. China will be donating 20,000 doses of the Sinopharm COVID-19 vaccine. And in sport, West Indies up against tough spin attack in first test. GFF warns fraternity about unsanctioned football during pandemic. With the news, I'm Kurt Campbell. We're glad you can join us. First up, almost 2 weeks after being detained in neighboring Venezuela on a false claim that they were fishing in that country's maritime space, and despite mounting international pressure, there is still no clear indication when the 12 detained Guyanese fishermen and their 2 registered vessels will be released. 12 Guyanese fishermen remain detained indefinitely in Venezuela, and with food supplies running low, efforts are being made to get cash to them so that they can purchase food as needed. But the situation has now become a little complicated, according to the boat owner, Kumar Lalpachan. Lalpachan told the newsroom on Tuesday that while the fishermen remain at Port Gura, where they were initially taken, they were moved on Monday to a more guarded area in close proximity to where the Venezuelan marine soldiers and their boats are. This he described as a more stressful area. He said the move has hampered communication with the Guyanese men, who've now lost contact with the Venezuelan local who was translating for them and also helping to coordinate relief efforts.
They will go alongside the marine. Nobody can communicate with them no more. The guy who was communicating with them will have the interpreter, so he can go there. They stop him. They need some ration in the next 2 days. We're trying to ask the guy how we could get the money for him and what we can get that. So we don't know what's going to take place with him. So we make contact with the Foreign Affairs Department, and they said they want to make some arrangements to see what they could do. So we have to get no word back today.
He said the 12-member crew is running low on food items and they will need ration in the next 2 days. Lalpachan said he last spoke to the crew on Monday.
No problem. Yeah, all right, and so nobody molest them and, entreat them also. They're not entreated also.
The government last addressed the matter at the weekend with President Irfan Ali reiterating calls for an end to Venezuela's aggression and for the men to be released along with their vessels. Information out of Venezuela suggests that the men could be detained for well over a month as that country conducts its own investigation. The Venezuelan foreign minister had committed to the men's early release, but that was a week ago. While Guyana's Foreign Affairs Minister Hugh Todd could not be reached for a comment, advisor on borders Carl Greenwich told the newsroom Tuesday there has been no update on the release of the men. Family members are growing increasingly worried about the men being the sole breadwinner for their families. Their wives and children have repeatedly urged their safe release. Just over a week after Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro issued the decree and laid claims to the Essequibo on January 7, 2020, Guyana received distressing reports that a Venezuelan naval vessel seized 2 Guyanese fishing vessels and detained its 12-member crew. Guyana sprang into action, issuing a formal protest against the illegal act with growing support from the international community, calling for the release and return of the men and their vessels. Guyana continues to maintain that the men were arrested and detained while fishing in waters well within its exclusive economic zone, and that the borders between the 2 countries were settled by an 1899 arbitral award. Venezuela's rejection of the award has led to Guyana seeking a judicial settlement to the matter, which is currently before the International Court of Justice. We tell you now that an accountant on Tuesday walked out of the Demerara High Court of Freeman after a jury acquitted him of raping a 20-year-old woman. Samuel Wall of Diamond Housing Scheme East Bank Demerara was on trial before Justice Joanne Bardo. He was acquitted after the jury delivered a unanimous not guilty verdict. He was also found not guilty of the alternative count of sexual offense. Wall was on trial for allegedly engaging in sexual penetration the 20-year-old on October 25, 2018. The state was represented by prosecutors Sarah Martin and Nafisa Baig, while Wall was represented by attorney-at-law Adrian Thompson. Reports indicate that Wall and the victim communicated on Facebook, and on the day in question, they were at the Promenade Gardens in Georgetown. While there, it is alleged that Wall told the victim to sit on his lap, and at that time he tried to unbutton her pants, damaging the button in the process. It was alleged that he grabbed her by the neck, shoved his hands into her pants, and penetrated her with his fingers. It was alleged that the victim tried to fight him off, and they fell to the ground. The woman reportedly sought the help of some men who were playing basketball nearby, during which Wall allegedly escaped. The matter was reported to the police, and Wall was later arrested. A number of security guards attached to the integrated security firm staged a protest action on Monday, claiming they have not been paid since December last year. With placards that read "No money, no work, and we need our money," the workers protested outside the Mabury Curie Hospital East Berbice quarantine. They also alleged that the security company has not paid their NIS since 2017, even though the contributions are being deducted every month from their salaries. Isanella Patwa reports.
Norma Singh, one of the security guards, said they have not received any salaries since December 2020. Singh told a newsroom outside of the Mabury Curie Hospital on Monday that they have waited long enough and are demanding to be paid now. According to the over 30 protesting security guards, the company has given no reason for the late payment.
Yes, it is very hard for me because I have my children and I have to maintain them. I have my light bill to pay, I have my water bill to pay. Also, I have to pay rent, and it's very hard for me. Since December, I collected my November money. Christmas, I didn't have no kind of money to treat my children. And it's very hard.
In addition to unpaid salaries, the workers are also claiming that they have not been granted any leave packages for over 3 years. Another major concern is with their NIS contributions, which the workers found out are not being paid. According to Marlene Punch, she applied for her NIS pension but was told there are no contributions since 2017.
I keep asking, calling NIS concern my contribution. If I qualify or whatever. They call me and they say there is no. The last time they give me a printout, this is 2017. They said no NIS have been paid from integrated since then. I called Georgetown. They say, give me a number, call Miss Brutus. Miss Brutus said to call Miss Jansen. When I call Miss Jansen, there is no, I call him. Sometimes I call all day, nobody answer the phone.
Some of the workers protesting are also single parents.
2 whole months since we ain't get no pay, no salary. This is
no
2 months. 3 years they take over. And since then this is it. When they pay you 1 month, they hold you for next whole month. They don't pay you money on time.
This is the
3
serious
whole
problem.
years,
They have money problem.
No leave package, no holiday. Christmas passing, you see $20.
No.
Right? Rain, sunshine, we there at it, and them in paying me, and it's unacceptable.
That is why we are here to protest for our salary and our leave package, and our NIS has not paid. We work with this company since 2017, December the 1st, and no NIS has been paid for us, and they have cut in NIS for all of us, and I'm just pleading for all the security of the Blackbush area in the Mabury Curie Yakasari in the back dam side. None of NIS has been paid, and we didn't receive any leave package.
When the newsroom contacted Integrated Security Forum for a comment on the issue, we were told that the public relations officer is currently out of the office and will return a call. But up to news time, the call was not returned. Reporting for the newsroom, I am Isanella Patwa.
Coleman Hardin, who had accused the police constable of raping him with a baton in 2013, had his case dismissed for want of prosecution. He has been ordered to pay the state costs awarded to the tune of $100,000. The matter came up for hearing before Justice Navendra Singh on Monday at the High Court, where the trial was expected to begin. According to a statement from Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandlal, the trial was scheduled to commence at 9 hours. Nandlal said counsel for Hardin was not present and did not communicate with the court, forcing a delayed commencement to 9:25. Harding's attorney reportedly called to say that he would not be able to attend court until 9:30 or 9:45. The AG Chambers asked for the matter to be dismissed for want of prosecution and that Harding paid the Attorney General costs in both dismissed actions. In his first claim, Harding alleged that he was assaulted and battered by the police constable and sustained injuries. Specifically, he contended that he was viciously assaulted by several members of the Guyana Police Force on November 15, 2013 by ranks who entered his house. He also claimed that Police Constable Singh inserted a foreign object into his anus, triggering a need for corrective surgery, and that the said rank repeatedly assaulted him at the Tumeri police outpost. The state had denied these claims, asserting that the medical evidence did not support Harding's contention of a foreign object being inserted into his anatomy, and that any surgical procedures undertaken were as a result of a medical condition which he had developed. In this action, Harding had asked the court to grant him damages in excess of $100,000 and other exemplary damages. In the second claim, he alleged that his fundamental rights were breached as a result of the actions of the police ranks and asked the court to grant him damages in excess of $80 million. He asked for several other costs to be awarded, including that the defendants in each action pay the cost of his legal fees for bringing the actions. Traffic accidents for the year so far has already gone above the figures for last year, and China will be donating 20,000 doses of Sinopharm COVID-19 vaccine. You're watching the Newsroom. Thank you for staying with us. Traffic accidents for the year so far has already gone above the figures for last year. On the east bank of Demerara, a special measure, that of overhead pedestrian crossings, was introduced to tackle the problem there. But as Sheena Henry has been finding out, many are choosing not to use them.
Exactly 1 month ago, a 35-year-old man lost his life after being struck down at Covent Garden on the east bank. Some 3 weeks ago, a 59-year-old woman was killed while approaching a pedestrian crossing at Nandi Park. Their deaths added to the scores of people who have been killed on the roads. A measure taken to put a dent in the alarming rate are these overhead pedestrian crossings on the east bank. The question is, have they worked?
Mark Culpepper was just 35 when he was struck down on the Covent Garden public road on the east bank of Demerara on New Year's Day. He remained unidentified for 3 days until police released this sketch. To date, the case has not been solved.
So far, we are trying to get the police to do their investigation. They say currently the matter is sent to DPP for further advice.
Kelsey Worrell, Mr. Culpepper's nephew, spoke with the Newsroom describing how the family has been coping since the tragic incident.
Trying to cope with it, the family is here. We are trying to, hold up as much as possible currently.
On a regular day on the East Bank Demerara 4-lane highway, this is the case. Pedestrians making the risky move of running across the road instead of using the overhead pedestrian crossing just nearby. Many have been struck down this way, but despite cautions and encouragement to use the overhead crossing, many ignore them.
You traverse the area and you will see that pedestrians are not using the overhead for some reasons I cannot say, but they are not using it. They are still crossing the road illegally in the path of traffic. Times at the Harbour Bridge, one at the Harbour Bridge, at times the police will enforce it, and you will see they will cross it.
For January alone, there has been an increase in the number of road accidents when compared to last year.
For January this year, compared to last year, we have a 30% increase in fatal accidents and 40% increase in deaths. Last year, the same period, we had 10 fatal to compare with 13 this year, and 10 deaths with 14 this year so far.
These overhead pedestrian crossings were constructed so as to reduce or eliminate accidents along the East Bank corridor. They were constructed at Diamond, Providence, Houston, Peters Hall, Eccles. But the police traffic department has been having a hard time getting pedestrians to use them. But it's not just the use of the pedestrian overpasses. Traffic Chief Senior Superintendent Ramesh Ashram said pedestrians need to observe the general rules of using the roadways.
Persons need to observe the 5 C's. Even we're looking at the 5 CS drivers, but when you look, is all category using the road should observe the 5 C's. Care, courtesy, caution, consideration, common sense. And if we use pedestrians, especially if they use the road with care, even though they are at a pedestrian crossing, which I mentioned on several occasions, They need to observe the curb trail even though you're using a crossing. You have to look right, look left, right again, and when it is clear, do so quickly across the road. Some pedestrians believe that the crossing is there, so just they step on it, they could go across. They have to understand vehicles need time to stop.
As the family of Mr. Culpepper continued to mourn his death, his family would not like for others to experience their grief and are urging all to be more careful when using the road.
Well, I think the driver should be more cautious on the road and look out for others, and I think it's going to help. Also, with drivers speeding on the road and something like this happening, I feel the license should be suspended, or they should be warned in order to adhere to the rules on the road.
Reporting for the newsroom, I am Sheena Henry.
China will be donating 20,000 doses of the Sinopharm COVID-19 vaccine, according to Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony. Dr. Anthony, during his daily COVID-19 update on Tuesday, revealed the name of the vaccine 2 days after China pledged the donation. Clinical trials have pegged the vaccine as 79.3% effective. This, Dr. Anthony said, is very good. The vaccine has been given emergency authorization use in China and in the Caribbean region. But also, although COVAX has pledged another 104,000 doses of AstraZeneca to Guyana, Dr. Anthony said it is still not enough to cater to the category of frontline workers, elderly persons, and persons with comorbidities. Those categories of persons will first be offered vaccines when it comes to Guyana, according to the government's development plan.
Well, our deployment plan for vaccines, first of all, we want to give to the frontline workers. We had calculated that to be close to about 22,000 people. And the rest of the vaccines, so you have about 52,000 persons can be vaccinated with the vaccines that we're getting from COVAX. So the rest of the persons who would fit that category would then be the elderly and, of course, comorbidity. So we'll have more persons in those categories than at present with the vaccines that we're getting from COVAX. We are making other arrangements to be able to acquire vaccines, and therefore we should have enough vaccines to take care of the elderly and the persons with comorbidities. So we're working on those arrangements right now. They haven't been completed as yet, but we are very optimistic that we'll have additional vaccines to be able to cover those persons in those categories. When we completed health workers and the elderly and, of course, people with comorbidities, then we'll go to the next level, which is other persons in the population. But again, because the vaccines are not mandatory, there might be persons who would not want to take it, and therefore it frees up a vaccine for another person. My advice, however, is that persons who are offered the vaccine should take it, because it would help them to minimize the infection and reduce chances of being hospitalized.
Months after the government liberalized the telecommunications sector, which was once plagued by limited and costly services, President Irfan Ali has announced new and expanding private sector ventures that stand to bring considerable relief to citizens all across Guyana. Responding to the statement, Wi-Fi is a disaster in Guyana, during an appearance on the GlobeSpan 24/7 program on Monday, President Irfan Ali said better internet connectivity will come to all communities across the country, with Linden Region 10 and the Essequibo Islands West Demerara already lined up for new bandwidth infrastructure. And Dr. Ali explained that his government's plan to end unreliable connectivity while reducing the cost for ICT services is laid out in its push to liberalize the sector and bring an end within months to the decades-old monopoly that the Guyana Telephone and Telegraph Company enjoyed.
This should have ended some years ago. We very quickly were able to end the monopoly and liberalize the telecommunications sector. Since then, we are seeing tremendous interest in added bandwidth capacity and private investment. And this, of course, would lead to not only more efficient service and more reliable service, but in a reduction of the cost of the service. Because that is one of our great hindrances. One of our great hindrance to competitiveness is the cost of bandwidth and the cost of ICT services.
The president said with liberalization in October of 2020, he has already seen a reduction in cost for some ICT services. He said too that new businesses are opening, as he reminded that the call center is to be opened in Tushin, East Bank, Essequibo, which will in turn offer employment to hundreds of persons.
To not only reduce the costs, but to bring business opportunities in call centers and so on, where housewives can become employed, trained and retooled and employed. Because now they'll be able to have a job that adds to the family income, which eventually will expand disposable income and rebound to the benefit of the economy.
Guyana's telecommunications sector was formally liberalized on October 6, 2020, with the government issuing the commencement orders to fully bring into force the Telecommunications Act of 2016 and the Public Utilities Commission Act of 2016. Both laws were passed in the National Assembly since 2016, but were never brought into force by the previous APNU-AFC government. But within 2 months of assuming office, the People's Progressive Party civic government sought to move the process forward, with Prime Minister Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips issuing the orders and putting aside a memorandum of understanding the coalition government had signed with GT&T. The legislation creates a clear, harmonized framework and a level playing field for the sector. More news ahead. You're watching the Newsroom. With Guyana getting ready to roll out a mass administration of the second dose of filaria medication in the coming days, Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony is calling for public buy-in. Dr. Anthony said although the government was able to accomplish its target during the first dose period 2 years ago, he wants to appeal to the public's cooperation now. He said if this time elapses and persons do not take the dose of the medication, then the program will have to restart.
But I want to again appeal to the public, because if we're successful at getting about 70% of our population taking these tablets, we would be able to eliminate filaria from Guyana. And this has been a problem that we've had for many, many years, have been affecting people, because we would have seen persons who, we call them Bigfoot, and those persons would have been suffering from filaria because their lymphatic system would have been invaded with the parasite. We can avoid all of this if we eliminate this disease from Guyana, and therefore this is our chance to do so. And I do hope that persons cooperate with the persons who would be distributing the pills and take those tablets so that we can really eliminate filaria from Guyana once and for all.
There will be a soft launch of the program on February 12, after which the distribution will commence on February 14 in regions 3 and 4, which will last for about 2 weeks, with enough persons to go from house to house and conduct the distribution. By March 1st to March 14, the distribution will be conducted in regions 6 and 10. All other regions will commence on March 18. With Valentine's Day just around the corner, and as the COVID-19 pandemic remains prevalent, Nisha's Flowerland is here to make you feel safe and loved, whether it's by having your orders delivered safely at home or a visit to its 3 locations at Church Street, Georgetown, Movie-Tongue Mall, or the Lotus Mall at Parika. Over the years, Nisha's has become a household name with its wide range of flowers, chocolates, wines, and teddy bears. This year, the theme for Valentine's is Love Lockdown, as Nisha aims to be bigger and better despite the pandemic. A representative of the company explains how persons can stay safe and experience Valentine's Day by ordering online and have it delivered in any part of Guyana.
Nisha's is not going to let you down, pandemic or not. You know, Nisha's is a household name for flowers, and this year we are helping you keep your love locked down, because we understand that everybody, you know, you've been quarantining with you guys, you've been like having so much of each other. Don't let the love die out. Don't think that we are gonna have Valentine's and just let it go. No, 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 no. We are gonna do Valentine's even bigger, even better. It's going to be amazing with all of our specialty flowers that we have. You know, this year we have over 20 different colors in roses. So that means, you know, for those of you who feel a little weird giving a guy a flower or something, that's no problem. Like, we're gonna have blues in all colors, we're gonna have reds, purples, your rainbow roses. Everybody loves their rainbow roses. That's all going to be available. And if you're really interested in locking down your love, you can check out our new location in Movie Town, where with every purchase you make, you are given a small lock, and you can go ahead and carve your initials in at Nisha's and then walk over to the Eiffel Tower in Movie Town and lock your love down. So, you know, Nisha's, we're really trying, we understand that everybody has been all cooped up and stuff. We're really trying to give you a little more to do. We're also having a promotion at our Movie Town branch where we are going to hide the key to the lock, and whoever finds it on Valentine's Day, you get yourself a dozen roses. Now, apart from those things, we have our specialty flowers like our orchids or cymbidium orchids, there are lilies, there are hydrangeas. There are just so many flowers here at Nisha's. And now I know flowers are one thing, you still have to get the other things, and Nisha's is always a one-stop shop for you. So we've got your chocolates, your wine, there's teddy bears, you can pre-order cupcakes that are champagne filled, you can pre-order cakes, like even message cookies, like little cookies written, little messages written on sugar cookies, and all of that will be available at all three of our branches. So that's our branch in the Lotus Mall, Parika, our branch at Movie Town, and our branch on Church Street. So you can also get us on any of our numbers, 227-3553 or 225-3315. Now, I know that sometimes it's a little difficult to get into the store, and a lot of people are trying to still stay indoors, and that's not a problem because Nisha's is still here to serve you. You can order directly from our Facebook page. You can make payments with your Visa card or with MMG if that's easier. You can do this if you're locally in, like as if you're in Guyana, or if you're stuck outside of Guyana and you still want to send your loved ones flowers, you can order from our Facebook page or just give us a call. Any of those work, and we'll be able to send your loved ones flowers anywhere in Guyana because we offer countrywide delivery. So if you need to send the flowers to Bartica, to Lefem, to MADURO, wherever you needed the flowers to go, we can get it there for you. As long as you order a day ahead for deliveries going so far out of town, we can have it there ready for you. We will say that all online orders will be closed on the 10th, and after the 10th, you won't be able to place your orders online anymore, just so that we are sure that we process your order and give you the quality that you expect from Nisha's. We are going to be open as per usual from 6 a.m. on Valentine's Day until about 2 or 3 p.m. But all of the days preceding Valentine's Day will also be open from 8 to 6. So 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and that goes for our main branch. Our branch in Movie Town will be open until 10 p.m. and our branch in Parika will be open until 5 p.m. and all of them will be open on Valentine's Day for orders and deliveries. Oh, we've been having orders, like I said, since Christmas. Some people, you know, they're like, we know how fast your flowers go. We need to order early. So we've been collecting Valentine's orders since Christmas. Now, I know another concern is just going to be about safety and coming into the stores, but you know, just be aware that all of our staff, they are well aware of all of the COVID protocols. The store is very well spaced out. We are there to make sure we serve you, but we're also safe while serving you. So we just want you to keep that in mind. And like I said, you can also order online if you don't want to deal with the fuss of coming in. I just want to wish everyone a happy Valentine's Day. Stay safe, stay in love, and lock your love down.
When the newsroom returns, the financial, weather, and bridge reports along with sport. Welcome back to the newsroom, now for sport. We start things off with some cricket news. From the battery of fast bowlers witnessed on the recent Australia-India series, attention now turns to the craftier men of deception, the spinners, and Bangladesh at home have proven to be masters of the art. In ways to combat such, West Indies Test captain Craig Brathwaite wants his fellow batsmen to trust their plans and be positive. Here's more.
Two off-spinners, Mehdi Hassan Miraz and Naheem Hassan, and two orthodox left-arm spinners, Tajul Islam and Shakib Al Hassan, took all 40 of the West Indies wickets on the last tour in November 2018, under low and turn-in services that are expected again. The one-day international series performance already suggests that the Bangladeshi spinners have the Caribbean batsmen in a quandary. While not being reckless, Brathwaite wants more positivity from the batsmen, and most importantly for them, the trust in the plans they would have developed to counter the spin attack.
We came here last time, we lost the series. I think that's been motivation, for us, number one. And, as I said, I played against, the guys before. Some of the guys haven't, but, we've seen footage, and, from the batsman point of view, I just think, we have our plans in place. So it's just for us to bat them, simple as that. Being positive, from in defense to rotating the strike, to when you're looking to, be aggressive. I think once we do that, we all know they're quality bowlers, but I think we have the skills to, come out on top and get some big runs. So, and backing the batters, the guys have been putting in some good work. Practice game went decent, and we all look forward to the challenge.
Brathwaite indicated himself and John Campbell have a key role at the top. The two showed great promise on the England tour to the Caribbean in 2019, but since then have tapered off significantly. Both got half centuries in the warm-up match against the BCB 11.
I think is key in any game. Obviously for the openers to to put on a good partnership, especially here in Bangladesh. I think that will be that's a very key factor for us. If we as openers could build a big partnership and basically make it easier for the guys to come. I think that will really put us in a good position. So John's batting well. I really enjoy batting with him, and we look forward to the challenge.
Head coach Phil Simmons said on Monday that they will play at least two spinners, and the skipper feels the Pacers will still have a key role in supporting.
Spinners will feature in this game. That's my honest opinion on it. And I still think there's always room for Pacers as well, because the practice game was a low pitch, but the Pacers still did a good job and built a lot of pressure. So I won't be able to give the 11 now, but I think looking at services is very dry.
West Indies are set to hand out at least two debut caps, possibly to Nkrumah Bonner and Kyle Mayers for this match. Given Bonner's leg spin ability, the question will be whether to go with Alzari Joseph or Monreefa, who's a recognized all-rounder, as a third seamer to support Kemar Roach and Shannon Gabriel. Rakeem Cornwall is set to play the lead spinner role, which means it will be either Jamel Warrican or Sami Parmal for the second spot. There is a bold option of playing all three spinners, since Bangladesh is expected to feature 4 spinners and 1 seamer. The average first inning score at Zahoor Ahmed Trowdy Stadium is 370, which indicates it is a batsman-friendly venue. The match starts Tuesday evening at 23:30 Eastern Caribbean.
7. The 34-year-old, who is the leading Jaguars batsman in the format over the last 3 seasons, said he feels in good touch and is up for delivering the goods. The Jaguars play their first match on February 8th against Barbados Pride.
Tell us a little bit about Guyana's chances in the CG Insurance Super 50.
Yeah, obviously, I think we have a very good chance. It's been a long time. We haven't won this tournament, so the guys are eager to come out and give a good account of themselves and perform well.
How has training been going?
Yeah, we had a few weeks of training. It was good preparation leading up to the tournament. We would like to have more games, but I think the couple of games that we get in, it was useful, and we take away something from it with a couple of practice simulations. So I think it went well for us.
And your form as an experienced player, you have a big role in the team. What's your form like?
Yeah, obviously, the last game I just got a start at 30, but it was hitting the ball sweetly in the net. So once I'm hitting the ball and my mind is clear, you know, I think I'm ready to go there and give a good account of myself and perform well to the team and help them to win games.
And the pitches in Antigua are a bit different to those in Guyana, so you might just have to make a little bit of adjustment. I guess everybody's aware of that.
Yeah, obviously, you know, it's a bit more bouncy down here, more true, but I think as experienced players playing for a while, we get accustomed to playing in these sort of situations.
The Ghana Football Federation is investigating reports of the launch of an unsanctioned football tournament in the East Coast Demerara region and wishes to remind the football community that no authorization has been granted by the National COVID-19 Task Force or the Federation for any further resumption of football activities. More in this report. The GFF is urging all players, match officials and coaches to abide by the Federation's constitutional regulations at all times in the interests of the entire football community. Any breach of the GFF regulations, including participation in unsanctioned events, will be investigated and could result in suspension, the Federation said in a statement this week. Any suspected breach of the national COVID-19 rules will be reported to the authorities, the Federation added. The GFF regulations under its constitution are in place to protect the interests and welfare of players, match officials and coaches, and to safeguard the future development, good governance and orderly organization of football. Under FIFA's global structure of football governance and its constitution, the GFF controls football in all its forms in Guyana. President Wayne Ford said, and I quote, "We cannot emphasize enough the need for all our friends in football to abide by the GFF constitution and the national COVID-19 rules at this time of global crisis. We are planning for the safe and responsible resumption of football in the coming months in partnership with the National COVID-19 Task Force. No football competitions should take place until it is safe to do so and until they have been approved by the GFF and the task force." End quote. Ford added that unauthorized competitions at this crucial stage in the pandemic not only risk the health of the people taking part, but also the well-being of their loved ones and wider society. Special dispensation was granted by the task force for a spectator-less limited GFF tournament in December-January as part of the Federation's return-to-play plans, which paved the way for the responsible return of football in accordance with national protocols. The task force has also granted permission for the Golan Jaguars to begin training for the FIFA World Cup qualifiers in March. And Australia have pulled out of their tour to South Africa in February and March because of coronavirus concerns. The teams were due to play 3 test matches subject to biosecure protocols being agreed. Cricket Australia said it had no choice because of the situation in South Africa, where a more contagious variant of the virus has been reported. It means New Zealand have qualified for the inaugural World Test Championship final in England this summer. South Africa has been the worst hit country in Africa, with more than 1.4 million coronavirus cases and 44,000 deaths. And with that, we've come to the end of the news for this evening. My name is Avinash Ramzan. Thanks for watching.